GB's here of Into the Squared Circle podcast, and welcome to the post-WWE Survivor Series at the Weekend Insider of Into the Squared Circle podcast. Welcome, man. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I hope everybody had a great Black Friday as always. And Survivor Series came, it went by, and you know what? Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The biggest topic right now. Shocking to me. So on record, on video, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe so you never miss any videos uploaded. If you're listening through right here through the podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, now available on all major podcasting outlets. All right, so you're hearing this from the voice of me. If you're watching on YouTube, you're getting it from me. I'm going to tell you this right now. I am wrong as a fan, okay? I am wrong. And last episode, I said in my predictions, I doubt CM Punk will show up in the WWE. And boy, oh boy, was I wrong. So if you've been living under the rock the past, 12, 18 hours, whenever Survivor Series concluded, CM Punk showed up. He showed up last night, and wowee, what a moment. But we will save that till the end of the show, because obviously it happened at the very end of the show. So we will run things chronologically order on the premium live event of Survivor Series, which went down last night on the Peacock Network, which I was watching on the comfort of my own home. I know it was here in Chicago, the All-State Arena. Almost a sold-out crowd, 17,000 plus strong WWE fans filling up the All-State Arena. And let's talk about it, man. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, drop it in the comment section. What was your favorite matches? Now, we know the CM Punk moment is the highlight of the century, right? We know that, which we'll talk about that later. But let's talk about the pay-per-view, because all the guys and gals bust their ass off throughout the show. And what's amazing was the premium live event started at 7 o'clock Central Time. It was done before 10 p.m. Amazing. And you know what? I'm not going to bitch about it. It was not long like a typical AEW show where it's 4 or 5 hours long. You get tired, man. You get tired when you get close to the main event. This, I was not complaining. I was pretty happy. And let's talk about it, man. So the pre-show, goddamn, man, I'm surprised they put the pre-show panel outside in the parking lot. Now, if I know I have some listeners, viewers watching this all across the country, across the world. Here in Chicago, it's roughly around 30 degrees outside right now. It's cold. Now, today, as I'm recording this, it's snowing. So it's a good thing snow never happened yesterday. But they had the pre-show panel outside in the parking lot, right across, adjacent to the doors of the All-State Arena. It was cold yesterday. So I'm surprised they put the pre-show panel out there, freezing their asses off. But whatever, they get paid millions. I don't. But you know what? They were out there with the kickoff show, getting the crowd riled up. And, they were teasing stuff. You got Peter Rosenberg stating best in the world during the kickoff show. You got people with CM Punk signs in the background, but they weren't removing them. Interesting. So the pay-per-view kicks off, or the premium live event kicks off, and we have the first match here, folks. The Women's War Games kicked off Survivor Series last night. There we go. Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Shotzi, and Becky Lynch versus Damage Control, which is Bayley, Asuka, Io Sky, and Kairi Sane. So it was a 33 minutes and 35 seconds match, and surprisingly, it was 1 minute short from the men's War Games. So it was damn near close to the men's War Games time limit. Amazing. So let's talk about it. I thought it was a great Women's War Games match. My favorite highlights through the match were Charlotte Flair. I think she climbed up top of the cage, and she did a moonsault a backflip moonsault and landed on the females. Well, I'm not sure what's the distance from the top of the cage to the ring. I think Corey Graves said, what, 20 feet? I don't know. But she did a moonsault, and it was phenomenal. Same thing with Io Sky. She did the same exact thing. Io Sky climbed to the top of the cage. She was standing on the edge. She put a garbage can over her head, and she jumped off and landed on the females. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Only thing about this War Games in the WWE is they don't have a top. They don't have a top cage like the traditional War Games back in the 80s. AEW has Blood and Guts, which they do have a top, like Hell in a Cell style. I'm not sure why WWE don't have the top for some reason. I don't know why, but I guess that's their change up in the War Games for this modern era for the WWE. So overall, this was a great women's War Games match. All the women are phenomenal. Shotzi took a beating. Every female that got released from the shark cage every 3 minutes. Was it 3? Or was that, 15 minutes, and then it became down 3. And every female came down to the ring, went under the apron to grab a weapon. Someone brought in a kendo stick. Someone brought in a chair. I think Shotzi brought in chains, like metal chains. And then, of course, the big pop. I'm not sure if Io Sky grabbed the table, but it seemed like the table is the star of the whole damn show between the men's and women's. I mean, you know when the table comes out under the ring and it gets a big pop, you know the table is the star of the match. But overall, it was a great women's War Games match. And you know what? Bianca Belair, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Shotzi defeated Damage Control, which that was in my predictions. If you heard it, I was hoping they were going to sneak by, but you know what? They didn't. Damage Control fell short, and Team Becky won the War Games. So, hell of a women's War Games match. For the women's aspect, the women's roster, I was quite surprised that some of the stuff they did in the ring was a little more violent. But, it is what it is, and they tried to match up against the men's, and kudos to them for all the women's busting their ass off in the ring. So there we go. Team Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair defeated Damage Control. All right, so my prediction, that was my first loss, and a little teaser, and my only loss on the whole damn show. So if you heard my prediction episode, you probably already know what my picks were. All right, up next, Gunther will put his WWE Intercontinental Championship match against The Miz. And, it was a great match. I said in my predictions, long-term story bucking. The Miz has a lot of potential, but if you watch the match last night in Survivor Series, Gunther reigns supreme in this match. He took control, and kudos to The Miz, who's a veteran in the business, but he did all he can to scratch and claw, but he fell short. And I think Gunther managed to do his submission. I'm not sure what it was, like a crippler crawl face style. He had his two legs over the Miz. He has hands like this over his face, and he made him submit. And there we go. Gunther is retained the Intercontinental Champion. And I mentioned in my prediction that Gunther is a very special, unique superstar. He is very unique, and I keep the title around his waist as long as you can. Avoid doing major matches with him. Take these major risks and bumps, and avoid these injuries, of course. Play smart. Make a longevity him as a champion. And I'm looking forward to see what his next opponent's going to be. His next big challenge. That's going to be an interesting one. Could it be Drew McIntyre? Who knows? But you know what? Hell of a match. Gunther defeated The Miz in 12 minutes and 20 seconds. If you're keeping tabs on the time here. All right, up next, we have Santos Escobar versus Dragon Lee. Now, in my predictions, it was supposed to be Carlito. Now, this past Friday on SmackDown, Carlito got jumped and attacked by Santos Escobar, pulling Carlito out of the match. What's the reason behind it? Is Carlito legit hurt that caused him to get removed from the pay-per-view? We don't know. We don't know what's the story behind it. All we know is Dragon Lee replaced his spot. And you know what? Both men look great. Dragon Lee looks phenomenal, a phenomenal luchador. Kudos to Triple H pushing him to the moon, giving him all the next exposure. He's not according to Triple H in the press conference, he's trying to treat Dragon Lee not an average normal lucha like AEW. Okay, no offense to them. But again, just another luchador in a mask doing just crazy moves, right? He's trying to treat Dragon Lee more of a Rey Mysterio. Special, unique, out of this world. And I think that's why Triple H is pushing Dragon Lee to the moon each and every week on television. So kudos to him, and I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do with him next. Now, Santos Escobar is a heel. I like it. I love his cockiness. He's willing to kick anybody's ass. He is a scumbag, of course. Not the MJF version of scumbag, but, you know, I enjoyed it. And Santos Escobar managed to defeat Dragon Lee. Now, either way in my predictions, when Carlito was on it, I picked Santos Escobar to defeat Carlito. He's a hell of a heel. There's so much more potential coming out of Santos Escobar. As a fan, I would love to see him grow as a heel. All right, so good stuff. I enjoyed it. So far, we got 3 matches down. We got 2 to go. All right, drop it into the comment section of YouTube. Let me know what you think. What was your favorite match so far? And we will take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we'll hop on to the final 2 matches of WWE SummerSlam right here on Into the Squared Circle Podcast. All right, welcome back, folks, and we are about to wrap up the show with the last 2 final matches for WWE SummerSlam. Now, a little heads up, if you're listening out here on the podcast, I will feature part of the Triple H media scrum on the podcast. Part of the perks, if you want to join the podcast, it's free. All major podcasting outlets, all you have to do is type into the Squared Circle Podcast on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. So wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, join and subscribe. It's free, my friends. It is free. I upload, 3 times a week? And again, perks. I cannot be featured on YouTube, but I can feature on the podcast. Check it out. Should be now available right now. And I will feature the media scrum of Triple H talking about CM Punk, which we will get to shortly, folks. So stay tuned. All right. So up next, we have the Women's World Championship. Rhea Ripley came down as the champion to face Zoe Starks in a 9 minutes and 15 seconds match. I thought it was a hell of a match. Hell of a match. Zoe Starks has a lot of potential. She has a lot of potential. She is phenomenal. And you know what? Both women went to war. They went to war. Zoe Starks, she's scratch and claw, just like the Miz and Gunther match. But Rhea Ripley showed the badness, the badassness, see, that's the right word, showed the toughness. Again, Michael Cole said on the commentary last night in Survivor Series, if you type in star, right, superstar, in Google, there would be a picture of Rhea Ripley popping up. And boy, that was spot on. Spot on, because Rhea Ripley was a badass. And she showed to the world why she is the world champion. And she defeated Zoe Starks by pinfall 1, 2, 3 for the win. And again, Triple H mentioned it in the press conference that Zoe Starks proved that she belongs up there with the best of the best, like Bianca, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and of course Rhea Ripley, the best of the best top division in the main roster for the women's division, right? So Zoe Starks proved it. So I'm looking forward to see what's next for her beyond past this. But in the meantime, Rhea Ripley defeated Zoe Starks by pinfall to retain the women's champion. So that was another victory in my record. And now, in between throughout the night, you know what? Triple H was talking about sponsorships. And it seemed like every match on his or every premium live event, there's been a sponsor to every match. You got Ruffles featured throughout the show last night. You had Slim Jim. And we've seen a couple the previous live events. So it's amazing that you have brands. You have brands out there that's willing to pay money to feature their name in a match. Not just the whole damn pay-per-view, but, I mean, just to slap their name on a match. You put their merch on the table, and then you have, the Ruffles all along we call the fans guardrail. LED boards. They're willing to shell out money to put their name in the matches, which is amazing. So I know Ruffles were a big advertising for Survivor Series. Obviously, they had a backstage cameo with the returning R-Truth eating a bowl of chips, and I don't know, it was interesting. But nonetheless, now throughout the night, so before we get to the final match, throughout the night of Survivor Series, I believe Seth Rollins came up to Sami Zayn or Cody Rhodes and, hey, where's Randy? Randy Orton. He's not here yet. We'll figure it out. We still got a long way to go. We're the main event of the show. We're going on last, so he should be here. And then as the night continues to progress, okay, Randy's not here. What's going on? Cody's like, well, just let me give him a call, see what's going on here. And there's no Randy. And I guess we will continue on without Randy. So who's going to be our fifth partner if Randy doesn't show up? And we will have to find out in the main event if Randy Orton will show up or not. So that right there was a big indication. CM Punk. There you go right there. And fans are wondering, what if LA Knight came out? What kind of reaction would he get? Yes, LA Knight showed up in Chicago on SmackDown, but he was not featured on the premium live event of Survivor Series, which was interesting. For a guy for being a massive star, a massive pop on SmackDown, man. That arena exploded. But I thought about, like, what would happen? What would happen? So here we go. It's War Games times. Cody Rhodes come out. We had Seth freaking Rollins, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn. All four men had their own entrance coming out. They were all locked up in a cage, except Seth Rollins. I think he kicked off the War Games. He was the first one to enter the ring. And then the Judgment Day came out. Everybody came out as a group. And then Finn Balor was the first contestant. So it was Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins in the cage. And of course, Seth Rollins, right off the bat, attacked Finn Balor. So he went charging for him right off the bat. And sure enough, I'm trying to remember the order here. Somebody, I think it was Judgment Day that came out. I don't remember. JD McDonough, some Dirty Dom. I don't know. Oh yeah, Drew McIntyre as well. So either way, I don't remember all the order of who came out the cage. But by the time everybody came out, right, both cages were empty. And now the timer popped up. We have all 5 members of Judgment Day in the ring, right? Now we have 4 guys on Team Cody in the ring. Now, who's the 5th member? Now, they have the ticker, the time on the screen. So there's somebody's going to come out, that 5th member. If it's Randy Orton or not. So they have the timer on. So here we go. We're down to 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Will Randy Orton come out? 2 minutes. 1 minute. Now we're down to 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, Now we go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So now we got to 0. And the camera was focused onto the entranceway. And it was quiet. It was quiet. My heart, now I was watching this on TV, and my heart was beating. And I don't know why. As a fan watching it, it's just like the surprise element. Who's going to come out? Yeah, you're waiting for the cult of personality to hit. Well, Randy Orton, like, who will come out? Who's going to be pissed off if CM Punk won't be there? And they swerved us. Rhea Ripley music came on. She came out with the briefcase, which belongs to Damian Priest. And she comes down to the ring, and she wants to cash in the title. And they're like, oh my God, Damian Priest is going to cash in the title during the War Games? And as she's grabbing the briefcase to the ref, Randy Orton music hits. It's like just beautiful, just mind-boggling. They just screw with your mind. How Triple H, just well done. Well done to creative and Triple H, man. How they did that, just brain-twisting swerve, right? So Randy Orton comes on, just a massive pop. Man, massive pop. Randy Orton, and he looks good. He's been out for what, 1.5 years, and he looks good. He looks jacked. He looks ripped. It seemed like he hasn't missed a moment in WWE. He came out, and man, just went on fire in the ring. But my favorite moments in the match were they did vintage Randy Orton's DDT. And not just only him, but all the members of Team Cody did it at the same time with Randy Orton. I thought that was a pretty cool moment. There was another spot in the match where Cody Rhodes brought out the cowbell rope, made famous by his father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, baby. Cody Rhodes brought that, and he teamed up with Seth Rollins to take out everybody with the bull rope. I thought it was a pretty cool moment. And then the big finale, right? The big finale where everyone in Team Cody did their finishing move. Randy Orton did an out-of-nowhere RKO. Then you had, what else? Cody Rhodes did the Crossroads. Seth Rollins did the Stomp. Who else? Sami Zayn did the Haluva Kick. And then Jey Uso did the Uso Splash. So everyone hit their finishing move. I thought it was pretty cool. And then the finishing of the match. I forgot. I cannot forget that the biggest RKO in history, where Sami Zayn and then I think it was Seth Rollins were at the top of the cage. I believe JD McDonough was the top of the cage. And Randy Orton was standing in the ring, just prowling, just waiting for JD McDonough to get tossed off the cage by Sami and Seth. And Randy Orton did the biggest RKO in history. I thought it was phenomenal. Eventually, Cody Rhodes did a Crossroads to somebody from the Judgment Day, pinned him 1, 2, 3. And Team Cody defeated the Judgment Day. How about that? Everybody celebrated, right? The match finished, everybody celebrated. And I'm like, okay, show's almost done. Show was almost done. The big moment, folks. We were moments away from Survivor Series going off air. Like minutes. And you probably watched it and you've seen it. The WWE trademark logo. You know, they put at the very end of the show, WWE.com, trademark 2023. They put the trademark on the corner. And to me watching it, I'm like, okay, I'm just waiting for the screen to go black. The show's done. Nobody's coming out. This is it. And all you hear is, holy shit. CM Punk cult of personality. My heart sank. Oh my God. Triple H fooled us all. Again. So talk about a twist. Before Randy Orton came out, but they put a false ending to surprise the crowd, surprise everyone at home. I was ready to hit the power button on my damn tablet, and out comes CM Punk, and the whole Allstate Arena, it just exploded. The King of Chicago has arrived. My personal opinion, King of Chicago, Chicago-made Punk, the man himself, Phil Brooks, returns back to the WWE after 13 years. Amazing. We will take another commercial break, and then the rest of the show is all about CM Punk. What we know, and there's a lot of things on my mind after that initial shocking return. We will talk about that after this quick commercial break right here at Into the Squared Circle podcast. All right, welcome back, folks. And to conclude the show, as I mentioned, if you're listening on the podcast, you will get the media scrum of Triple H talking about CM Punk, of course. So that's a part of the perks about the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, you will not get it. So check it out right now wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. All you have to do is type into the Squared Circle podcast. All right, so let's talk about CM Punk. Here is what we know so far from the dirt sheets. Again, it's the internet. You believe everything on the internet? I do. No, I don't. I take everything on the internet with a grain of salt. So, all right, so let's talk about CM Punk. He showed up, right? He showed up with all the talks, right, online. My understanding is that CM Punk showed up at the Allstate Arena, right? And according to Triple H and the media scrum, which I will play on the podcast, everything happened so quick. Now, there's reports that both men, right? Triple H and CM Punk has been talking for over 10 days now, for over a week now. And, 10 days is more than a week, but I'm reading that it's been a week, right? Since last week, both men have spoken to each other and coming up with something. But they kept it very quiet, right? They've been teasing, right, on television, dropping hints. And again, they kept it very quiet to everybody. Even TKO, right, who oversees the WWE, they're the boss. And they had zero clue about this. The only two people that input was apparently Triple H and Nick Khan. Those are the only two that had input of CM Punk, right? CM Punk involvement. So they're the brains behind getting CM Punk back to the WWE. So, and again, in the media scrum, Triple H said, he's here to do business, right? He is here to do business, make money, right? This is what this business is all about. Making money, profit, and putting asses to seats, which AEW failed to do so. They did capitalize it in the early days when they got CM Punk in, right? You know, they filled up the United Center by a rumor, right? Nothing was confirmed. And they did rumors again for Survivor Series, which, look, WWE's crowd has been good so far. Business is booming in the WWE. They've been selling out arenas all across the world without CM Punk. But adding CM Punk to the WWE roster just put a cherry on top of this cake. Business is about to boom even more. WWE is taking a bigger leap of a step than they were. And Triple H said it well in the media scrum. Vince McMahon created this empire, right? Made it what it is today. But now Triple H wants to take this and put his imprint on it and make it even bigger, right? That's why WWE is doing stadiums across the world for premium live events. This is why they're going to France. This is why they're going to Australia. This is why they're going to Japan. This is why they're going across the world. London, right? London. They're going across the world to fill up stadiums. They are taking over the world. They have taken over the United States. Now they're going bigger. They're going bigger. They merged with the UFC to make one massive merger company. And it's only going to get bigger from here, right? So adding CM Punk to the list is growing this monster. It is growing this monster, and it will not stop. It's going to keep moving, man. It's a non-stop moving train. And adding CM Punk to it is special. And Triple H said it in the media scrum that capturing this moment was like a lightning in the bottle. It was the right moment. It was the right business move. And the fans been clamoring for it. And that's what the fans want. And it's best for business. Of course, Triple H is going to hop on board to get this. And he managed to get it done. Now, my understanding, again, the internet, you don't believe everything. According to a bunch of reports that apparently a lot of talent and staff was not aware about CM Punk's arrival, right? So they cleared out a certain area where CM Punk was not seen. My understanding is that Triple H told the main event of Men's War Games participants that, hey, CM Punk will come out at the very end. And they were told that. And I guess CM Punk came out, shocked the crowd. And now there's video everywhere of Seth Rollins seeming like he's pissed off. He was flicking off at CM Punk, and he was ready to charge to him. And Michael Cole and Corey Graves was holding him back. A bunch of refs and security guards were holding him back, and fans were wondering, is that a work? Is that a shoot? Is Seth Rollins really pissed off that CM Punk's here? There was another video of Drew McIntyre storming away after the War Games match. Well, to me, all that's nonsense to me, right? All that's nonsense. Again, CM Punk is back. Now is the time to start cooking on the storylines. Now, according to Triple H, nothing is set in stone, and they're going to take a day-by-day cases and how they're going to do, fit CM Punk into the mold. Now, will that affect the Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes in the near future? Maybe. Could, CM Punk have a thing against Seth only? Could CM Punk have a thing with Drew McIntyre? We don't know. There's a lot of variables behind this, and this could go to any direction. There's so much possibility with CM Punk in a fall. CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes? That never happened. So there's a lot. There's a lot of variables here, folks, of what could happen, how this direction will go, where CM Punk will lead to, what will he say on the mic. I guess apparently he will show up on Raw this coming Monday, which I believe they're in Tennessee. So we'll see if they're going to give him a live mic or not. If they give him a live mic, boy, oh boy, they better be prepared to what CM Punk has to say. Will he blastered and blistered his former company, AEW? We don't know if he is able to legally speak about it. But in the meantime, all eyes are on Monday Night Raw, right? And I'm curious to see if they're going to get big rating numbers for Raw. With CM Punk showing up on Raw now, which is amazing. And now I have a lot of questions throughout my mind after all of this. I was up late last night thinking about it. Obviously money's a big factor, right? Money's a huge factor. With WWE joining forces with the UFC, could that play a role, right? Again, CM Punk has huge connections with UFC. He wasn't the greatest in the UFC. He has the worst record in mixed martial arts. I know he's a big MMA guy. He's been showing up at these Bellator events, and will he continue to do these Bellator? We don't know. But as of right now, could that lead into something between him and the UFC? A crossover? We don't know. We don't know what's in his deal. It was reported it was a multi-year deal. How long? How much? We don't know. We don't know. And I'm just curious if this will leak into the UFC. Will Punk make his way into the UFC fighting? Hell, you know what? CM Punk versus Logan Paul? Dude, I'm down for it. Fucking give him a wrestling match and a shoot fight match and a cage match. Hey, I'm down for that, right? But, that's one of the questions I had in mind. There was another one. It came through my mind. I'm just thinking about last night. And, oh, man. I don't know, man. There's a lot of things I want to know about what's going to happen next with CM Punk. Is it a full-time gig? Is it a part-time gig? Will CM Punk show up X amount of dates? Will he be hitting live events, being on the road, 5 days a week, like the rest of the superstars? Will that happen? Or will he do only television appearances, premium live event appearances? So we don't know. We will not know until we find out in the next couple of weeks or so what his schedule will be like. All we know, WWE Shop has the CM Punk shirt live and updated with Survivor Series on it, so that's pretty badass. They have that planned out already. And, man, AEW. Insane. And I thought about it. I watched All In. I watched it when All In was at Wembley Stadium, the biggest wrestling show in the planet Earth. The first match was CM Punk versus Samoa Joe for the legit real world champion. Thinking that was the last time we will see him at AEW in front of a record-breaking crowd on the secondary market, just to find out that he got fired a couple days in Chicago in front of a hot, pissed off Chicago crowd. And then WWE comes back here with their biggest pay-per-view and the record-breaking All-State Arena attendance, and they're bringing him back there. And again, that would have been a shitty move if WWE never made that happen. And what if CM Punk, never came out? That just a big shit on the WWE Chicago or wrestling Chicago crowd in general. I mean, they pissed them off on Collision before Collision went on air. And the last thing you want to do is piss them off at another major wrestling company in the same town, right? We don't want that. So kudos to Triple H for not only just keeping them very quiet, secretive, but also capturing this great moment, twists and turns just to surprise the fans and give them what they want. I mean, kudos. Kudos to WWE, Nick Khan, Triple H. They have done it. After years and years of, just bad blood. I can't see that. Bad blood, bad mouthing between Triple H and the WWE and Vince McMahon and the whole lawsuit. Hopefully they can put all this to rest, right? Put all that to rest. And it's about business now, right? It's about making money, moving merch, which was CM Punk was trying to do in AEW. Obviously, he had a couple bumps in the road with co-workers, right? Co-workers. And a lot of people online are just big middle finger to Jack Perry. Way to go, asshole. You screwed it up. You got him fired, and now AEW just lost another top talent. First was Cody Rhodes. Next was Jade Cargill. Now you just lost CM Punk. Who else? Who else will leave for AEW? Go to the Promised Holy Land, which it was the evil empire a couple years ago. And things has changed and seem like everyone's happy now. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. But my understanding is that, now everybody's hopping back and over there. And I did not watch Collision last night on TNT. I'll watch at some point today, but I keep seeing Malachi Black dropping names on live national television to FTR. And apparently he said, FTR, you have no Cesaro. Okay, why would he say no Cesaro when he is Claudio in AEW, which is interesting? No Yuta. and there's no CM Punk. So he said 3 names he dropped on live national television, according to Malachi Black. And I have to watch to see if he actually said it. But apparently AEW social media has posted that video as well, so it was legit. I'm not sure if Malachi Black's trying to get fired so he can go back to the WWE. I don't know what's going on there. It's very interesting. But I have to check out Collision and Rampage, and we know the numbers are not good. We know Survivor Series against Collision. I wouldn't be surprised if they hit 300,000. I wouldn't be surprised. So there we go, folks. What a hell of a historic night in Chicago, Allstate Arena, Survivor Series. By the way, my predictions were 4-1. 4 wins, 1 loss. What else you can say? It was a great night of pro wrestling. WWE style at the Allstate Arena in Chicago. All right, my friends, if you're watching on YouTube, let me know what your thoughts in the comment section. If you're listening on the podcast, you made it this far, thank you very much for listening. And man, oh man, if you enjoyed it, join the conversation on Facebook, X, Instagram, as I mentioned right here on YouTube, into the Squared Circle Podcast. Hit the follow, hit the like, and join the conversation. All right, my friends, that was a great Weekend Insider. A lot of news, a lot of stuff coming out of it, and all eyes are on this coming Monday on the Raw on the U.S. Network to see what big stuff is coming up next. Because we have, I'm not sure if there's a pay-per-view in December, but we do have the Royal Rumble full steam ahead in January of 2024. So a lot of big stuff coming up, a lot of good stuff, and we want to see what's going to go down, and we will talk about it right here on Into the Squared Circle Podcast. All right, my friends, until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and my jaw's hurting for talking too much, and happy wrestling. Bye-bye, everybody.